Well, the bowlers might be making it hard, but the batters are making it look very easy even when they have to chase down 200. That's back-to-back chases of 200 plus for the Mumbai Indians, who look a serious force when it comes to their batting and when it's all firing as it was today. Fine innings again from Surya Yadav, the very best of Ishan Kishan, and finished off by both Tilak Verma and Tim David. 2 precious points for the Mumbai Indians. That leaves the Punjab Kings stunned as they now finish their round of games in Mohali for this year's IPL. Plenty to discuss as to how on earth a chase of 215 was made to look so easy. It was done with an over to spare. So all those questions and more on Visit Saudi presents ESPNcricinfo T20 Timeout. To Dasgupta and Shaun Tait. Let me start with you, Tait, because you did predict Mumbai would chase this down. You think it would be that easy?
No, not that easy. I think you're right, though, mid-game show when you said that maybe they did leave 3 down, Punjab, and maybe left a few in the sheds. Yeah, but Mumbai, a quality batting lineup like that, and obviously Ishan now finding some form. They're a extremely dangerous, probably the most dangerous side in the competition.
Yeah, dangerous batting side for sure. Yeah. And now it looks like everyone's, barring Rohit maybe, everyone seems to be firing. That Ishan, let's start with Ishan Kishan's knock. That's a hugely significant knock personally, I guess, as well for Ishan, who we spoke in the pre-show is not quite fired enough.
True, and you know the best part was how he was timing it today. So even though, I mean, he's got runs, even if he hadn't got runs as many as he did, you could see that he's timing it a lot better. The ball's pinging out of his bat, it was sounding good. So you could see that he's getting back that rhythm in his batting, and obviously was an important innings. Not just because he's batted well, but he's got those runs, and that partnership, him and Surya, that set it up. I mean, the first few overs, even though they were, keeping up the pace, but at that point in time, suddenly the asking rate went up around 12.5-ish. And then things started to happen when both of them opened up their arms, and I think it was the 12th over, or rather the 10th or the 11th over.
Yeah, it was the 13th over of
which
Sam
went for
Curran.
23. Which went for 23.
That was when suddenly they just shifted gears.
Exactly, and it was happening from both ends. Surya was doing what Surya does, but it was Ishan as well contributing massively, and suddenly from that 12th, 13th over onwards, it just seemed like a different game altogether.
Yeah, it's like in the last game too against Rajasthan. He picked that Kuldeep Sen over. Today he's picked Sam Curran's over. They needed 100 of the last 8 overs. That over going for 23 with those 2 sixes and the offside of Sam Curran. It just suddenly, Punjab looked rattled after that. Take me through that 13th over today. There was some hitting from Surya.
Incredible batting, and the main thing about that is the left armour doesn't want to bowl to the left-hander. But then the problem is when you've got Surya at the other end as a right-hander, you're on a hiding to nothing. I think it probably wasn't a lot he did wrong. It was just the batting was just incredible, and all the way around the field as well. I think he got a single off the last ball to mid-wicket, which made it the entire field basically. And even the bouncer he missed was going that way, so it would have been the whole field.
So the first shot of that over was a 6-over backward point, which was like...
Which you have to now explain how or not that happened.
Exactly. I can understand him opening the face and heading towards covers, but how the hell do you hit it behind?
How do you get that there?
So that ball is supposed to, for any batter, go over cover.
And
how do you come for 6 over?
Exactly, and it's not a slice, right? It's not something that you slice and you hit it over point. He actually hit it like an inside-out shot to... wideish third or something. I mean, that's unbelievable.
His innings against Rajasthan was as good a 2020 batting you'll see. But then that tonight again, that over, as good if not better.
But just talking about bowling, like you mentioned, it's difficult to bowl to someone like Surya who can play anywhere on the field. But my point is, especially to Ishan Kishan, I've seen a lot of left-armers going over the wicket to a left-hander and bowling straight. Doesn't that help the batter to use that angle easier, or wouldn't you have him rather either go round the wicket and change the angle and make the batter hit through offside, or even from over the wicket bowl outside off stump?
Absolutely, but 100%. I think to me where they went wrong as well is someone like a Surya, going back to Surya, but he wants you to bowl different deliveries. He's the sort of player that wants you to bowl every single thing different because he can hit everything different. If you stick, I'm not saying it's going to work, but if you stick pace on the top of the stumps, hard lengths, and keep it simple, he'll make a mistake. As in, he might not, but he's more of a chance of making a mistake. He gets himself out. I think when you try and get too unpredictable to Surya and change things up, you're in trouble. But what you're saying about, you were talking about the left-hander as well, that angle, trying to find an angle also just to get him off strike. Okay, that sounds defensive, but you're right. You got to find a different angle, maybe around the wicket, changing up. But I feel like pace on at the top of the stumps on this pitch was maybe a better go-to than trying to find a different slower ball, maybe going for a Yorker, missing the Yorker, ball and a half volley. It looked way too complicated to me.
I think that's a point that's been proved by just how the game's turned out. As you saw, Arshdeep and Karan do a lot of different things, and the standout bowler there was Punjab's impact player, Nathan Ellis. Eventually he's got one in a similar sort of style that you're referring to. Now Ellis' slow balls still seem to work. Ellis seemed to still get more right.
Because he's got a really
Was he
good
doing
one.
what you were saying?
He's got a really good one. So if you say your captain's talking, okay, I think this wicket might take a bit, so everyone just needs to bowl pace off. I just think, Ellis does because he's got a really good one. Tried and tested, it works. The other guys, if it's not working for you, or if you haven't got a really good one, there's nothing wrong with keeping them all. And I think Mohali traditionally is a normal fast bowling wicket. As in, when I say normal, I mean basic fast bowling. It's a good wicket to bowl a good bouncer on, and if you hit it, and a good wicket for that back of a length, top of the stumps, pace on. And you can be successful at Mohali if you bowl proper good fast bowling. Unless you like you said with Ellis, you got a good slow ball, fine. You know you can back that in. I just felt Arshdeep, he went to it and it was just floating up there, floating up into half volley. Arshdeep, his strength is a good fast Yorker. There's nothing wrong with going to that.
He didn't attempt that enough, did he, today?
A couple of times, but not enough.
You have to just look at the last game against Mumbai where he shattered the stumps. You almost sense that there's a reluctance today to bowl Yorkers from both bowling sides.
And to be honest, I mean, if you look at basically Arshdeep and the Punjab bowling unit per se, last few games they've gone for plenty. I don't think that helps their confidence either. No. Someone like Arshdeep, I mean, as good as he is, but he's been very, very expensive. Leave aside this game, even the last game he was very expensive. As a unit, they haven't performed. They've given away, 257 last game, chased down 214 or whatever with the over to spare. I don't think that helps their confidence either as a bowling unit, and it's kind of showing. And Arshdeep is one guy, he's not very expressive, but you can, I guess, see it in his body language that he needs one good spell, to get him back into that right mind space.
IPL's a long tournament. About 3 games into it, we were all worried about Surya Yadav's form at the back of the 3 Golden Ducks against Australia. I think we're okay now.
I don't understand when people talk about him not being in form. Listen, he hasn't played enough balls to figure out whether he's in form or not. I mean, 3 first ball Ducks. How do you judge someone?
One in the IPL as well.
One in the IPL in the second match, if I'm not wrong. So you can't really judge. I mean, I can understand when he's played an innings and it's not coming onto the bat or whatever, he's not looking good. You can assess form. But yes, he was out of runs, and it was quite evident, at least to me, it seems like those 3 first ballers had an effect in his confidence for sure. He's so slowly built up on his confidence, and slowly now that he's getting runs, and last couple of innings, he's just looked like the usual Surya Yadav.
It's that sort of player. It can go really bad for a bunch of games, but it's back. It's not really, you're right, it's not actually a form thing, but it can fall away really quickly for an entertaining player, flamboyant player. He dropped that catch as well that hit him.
Couple of catches actually.
This is going around in his head. But the sort of player that, if he just gets it right and plays a couple of good shots, he's away again.
And the swagger's back now. You could see it with the field, when he walks out, when he sort of hits it.
And his, the body language, as you mentioned. But the other thing is, people have to understand there's a difference between being out of runs and out of form. You can be out of runs but be in form. I think he wasn't out of form, but he was definitely out of runs.
All right, terrific chase by Mumbai. They've now thrown this open. Good luck to anyone who wants to take their bowlers down, which they seem almost resigned to, and they're just leaving it to their batters to get 215 or whatever. But if you have to go back to the first innings now, they've got a chat at halftime where that partnership was brilliant between Jitesh and Livingston, but it seemed like in spite of that they could have got maybe 15 more. Is it fair to say that when you've got 215, or is it just about the bowlers letting you down?
The bowlers did let you down, but obviously, I mean, that happened because of that, they scored 115 of the last 8. I mean, that's not going to happen every day. You're not going to score on a good batting pitch. You've got to make sure that you're thereabouts by the 12th over. You're getting 100. I think there were 99 in the 12th over. So you've got to be around that the 10th over markish or 11th over markish. And someone like Matthew Short, there was a reason I believe why he was picked for this game, to be the aggressor coming at number 3 on a good batting pitch. But he got a run ball, really, 20 or something, 27 or whatever run ball. He didn't look that fluent. So
it's also then again a change in the personnel where you've made those changes. You've won the last game. Suddenly, that you get a new batter in, and now it's not to be overly critical of Short, but when you look at the first innings, you sense maybe if they'd have just stuck with the same, or Livingston could have come in earlier. If they'd have just stuck when they have Raza, he tends to bat lower than Livingston. It just seemed like perhaps Punjab made a few errors to their own detriment.
I think you're right. I think as well, even before the game, I said I wasn't that surprised they left Raza out, but then thinking on it more, I think in these conditions in this country, Raza might be the better option. Short's probably a little bit. It lacks experience in this country.
It is his first IPL.
Exactly. I mean, you've got to start somewhere.
But Raza's as well.
He's good on Australian wickets that bounce true and come through Short. He stands up and hits the ball hard and whatever, but it's very different here. So.
They started well though, Punjab, you think. Rishi Dhawan all of a sudden was causing problems and Rohit Sharma fell early. Did they suddenly forget what was working for them? I mean, or is that just down to a brilliant innings by Surya?
I guess again, it boils down to obviously good innings, brilliant batting, but also that confidence thing. Once again, a couple of overs going for 15 odd runs, and you're like, you're into that rabbit hole again. Then you're like, oh geez, we're back again where we were, and then you're starting to ask question, and that can be a really bad place. And I think that's something they need to really address. That confidence thing.
Yeah, and you two big guns. All of a sudden, Green's now making runs. So he had a bit of a slow start with the bat, and Surya, you got those two world-class players start making runs. It's a world of difference. Imagine if Rohit starts making runs as well.
I mean,
but I was a little surprised. Were you guys, Rishi not bowling out his quota for overs?
Actually bowled right too. Actually, his first overs were really good.
His first two were brilliant, and then the third one, once Ishan Kishan took him for a couple of sixes, then it looks like Sam Curran must have felt like he's bowled that one over too many. But he could have gone to him? Could he have?
Well, I think his confidence was up. He took that early wicket. He was charging around. I think the tactic to go in one extra over was a bit dicey, but I think you're right. Give him the ball again. Why not? If he's up and about, he looked like he was confident. He was running in hard. He's bowling good areas too. So I think he deserved another over.
It caps off Punjab's cricket at their home stadium, the Hasbindra Stadium in Mohali, where they have now won just one out of a possible 5. I've got that right. 1 out of 5. All the other wins have come on the road, and some tough ones in Guwahati, in Lucknow, in Mumbai, in Chennai. So they've travelled really well. For a good bowling attack, can you make sense of why Punjab's home advantage has been to their own disadvantage?
Obviously, your top guns aren't firing as far as bowling. You depend a lot on Arshdeep, Rabada. Rabada has been disappointing as well. Couple of games or whatever he's played. And especially, listen, on this pitch, your spinner is not going to do much. There's not much for the spinners anyway. So on this particular surface, you depend a lot on your faster, quicker bowlers, and they haven't had a good, at least last few games at least. So
as I remember these games now, a couple of them with the batting didn't fire. They should have chased against Bangalore. That didn't happen. The Gujarat game early on.
Then that Rajasthan game, I think, was
and then they conceded 257 against Lucknow, and they've not been able to defend 214 today.
From a bowling point of view, and we sort of skip over the slow bowls a bit, and we're talking about the paces or whatever, but I think it's almost one of those, they got a bit of a break now, a little bit of a short break, a decent break between now and the next game.
5 days,
Perfect. Maybe have a couple of days off, don't touch a ball. And then, someone like a Rabada, lead the charge of training, run in, have a good, solid, old school session, hit the areas you want to hit, your strengths. And just get your confidence back in the nets with I just think Arshdeep, for example, don't touch the ball for a couple of days. Just go back. Remember what you do so well, and bring that for the rest of the competition.
With the runs that Tait got, there perhaps is even a case for them to play Rabada and Ellis along with Livingston and Curran potentially, if they just feel like their bowling is letting them down.
True, and maybe that's one of the reasons, but they haven't been as consistent as they should have been.
They still haven't figured their team.
They still have to figure it. Even if they win games, they make changes. Listen, not just because you've lost, not necessarily means don't have the right 11. It's just that those 11 didn't perform.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've made changes after every loss, and they've made quite a few changes, right? And for example, today, Atharva's done nothing wrong. I mean, you really need to do that.
Punjab have traditionally done that.
Yeah.
And I know this is a new season, but they've done a lot of that over the years, and it hasn't been that successful. Yeah. So.
Points table will tell you these are two massive points for the Mumbai Indians, and it puts them in a crowd now. Punjab are already in that crowd, but now you have Mumbai having played 9 games with 10 points, the same as Bangalore and the same as Rajasthan. Could you imagine Rajasthan and Mumbai at the same space, separated only by net run rate? With the way the IPL started for both of them, Lucknow and Chennai may very well be benefited by the additional point as things get really close as we enter the race for the playoffs. Now, Mumbai are at 6th there. Net run rate is worth keeping an eye on. They've now chased 200 twice. The batting is firing. But are we still, can you take them seriously as playoff contenders?
Very seriously.
Looking at their bowling, can you possibly be out-batting oppositions every time?
I'm taking them very seriously. I think you get someone like a Jofra Archer up to speed and deadly again. You get that bowling right. I mean, Piyush is in good form. Have they got enough? You're probably right. They're probably missing that extra good bowler, really good bowler. So if they can somehow find someone to fill that void, then look out. Yeah.
For me, they're one bowler away from being a champion side. One good, consistent bowler away.
Yeah. Can they find that in this season, though?
I don't know.
Do you sense Archer could suddenly
he's the one, isn't he?
Or is it in the form of Berendorf or Meredith getting better? Or will Madhwal bowled a good last over, as it turns out.
10 runs,
right.
9 runs, whatever.
4 out of their last 5 games are against teams that are above them on that points table. They've got Chennai, Bangalore, Gujarat and Lucknow to come, and they finish off with Hyderabad. There are 3 games of the Wankhede among those. Do you sense Mumbai have a realistic chance? Are either of you willing to make that call today?
Yeah, they've got to make
that they will sneak into the 4th place or something.
Yeah. They are. Three at Wankhede, I'd say yes.
Yep.
3 of them. They've got Bangalore, Gujarat and Hyderabad on the last day of the league stage.
Bangalore, yes. Hyderabad. So I want to see this batting unit on a scrapper.
Yeah.
So they are going to Lucknow on the 16th of May.
Right. So that would be their biggest challenge.
And they go to Chennai on Saturday afternoon.
Help their bowling actually. A scrapper would help their bowling. Bring their bowlers back into it.
And at the Chepauk is their next away game. So
but Chepauk's been a belter, right, this season. Chepauk, I mean, average score this season was 170, 180 at Chepauk.
Right. So Shaun Tait, Dasgupta, with all the wisdom you are willing to say that Mumbai are going to give us a late charge to make the playoffs?
I thought this 2 weeks ago. I just want to put my neck out there. No, I think they're genuine. I think everyone watching the last couple of games around the competition is like, ooh, okay. Yeah. They've got a bit of a habit of, in the past, of doing this as well.
Exactly so, yeah.
Just for fun, I'm going to say they're not going to win any of their games now.
None.
That's it. It's done. They've chased 200 plus.
I don't know if Punjab.
It's not going to happen.
I don't know if Punjab.
Bangalore, Chennai, Gujarat, Lucknow. They might beat Hyderabad on the last day, but nobody cares. Yeah. Okay, so you've heard it from the 2 people that matter actually on the show. They are fancying Mumbai at the back of these 2 strong chasers, in spite of the holes their bowling has, to actually make a real play for the playoffs. As far as Punjab goes, well, they have a couple of games at Dharamshala. They've tried and pick things up. They have a break now, like we mentioned, but it's all to play for as it really gets tight for the playoffs in the fag end of this season. Big thank you to Dasgupta, also to Shaun Tait. I have the 2 of them back tomorrow for Sunrisers KKR, so I can't wait for that one. Do join us then for Visit Saudi presents ESPNcricinfo T20 Time, or check out the points table on the ESPNcricinfo mobile app in detail, as well as the remaining fixtures and all the insight and scores from the IPL and the world over. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, and 7 o'clock is when we start our pre-show, so look forward to your company then. Good night.